Hi, I'm Steve Mundy with BMC Software. This video will explain why a manual sync of a high availability cell may be necessary and walk through the procedure to perform a manual sync. A manual sync is necessary if both primary and secondary are down at the same time, there is a big difference in event count between the primary and secondary, or the secondary has been down for a period of time. The recommendation is that if the secondary is down for more than an hour, then perform a manual sync. This is documented in Knowledge Article KA296013, and I'll be following this procedure here. So this is the primary machine, host 7793, and I've got a HA cell which is called cell HA. We'll just check the status of the primary and the secondary cell by running the mgetinfo command. You'll notice that at the end of the cell name I've put the #1 or #1. That's to denote that this will be the primary cell that I'm checking the activity status of, and this shows that it is full activity. If I repeat that command and change the 1 to a 2, that will show me the status of the secondary, which is standby activity, which is good. So both cells are running, primary full activity, secondary standby activity. I will now check the event count in both cells with the mquery command. So that has an event count of 19402. I'll then check the secondary, 12. So you can see there's a big difference in the event count, so these cells definitely need to be manually synced. What I'll do now is go onto the secondary machine and perform the sync from there. So this is the secondary machine, host 7794. And again, you can run exactly those same commands on this host. So the first part of the procedure is to copy over the mcell.dir file from the primary, and also to copy the cell KB over. I've set up a network share which is sharing the mcell home directory of the primary. So let me just go to that in Windows Explorer. Here it is here. So that's the primary cell mcell home directory, and I'll bring up another Explorer window here which is the mcell home directory of the secondary. So the first part of the procedure was to copy the mcell.dir, and the reason for doing that is that, say that the mcell.dir file has been updated only on the primary to include some cells or gateways that may be being propagated to. If at some point then the secondary becomes active, then propagation will not be able to take place to those cells if they don't reside in the mcell.dir file on the secondary. So it's always best to copy over that file. That's in the etc directory. Just copy that over to here. That's done. The next part is to copy over the cell KB, and that's in case you've updated some rules or updated some class definitions on the primary but haven't done it on the KB on the secondary. Just take a copy of this. Make sure you just copy over the KB directory itself and not the actual mcell.conf file, because the mcell.conf will contain some parameters which are specific for cell HA. Okay, so that's done. stop both the primary and secondary. That's done. So I'm now back on the primary machine. Go to the MCell home. var directory, rename that to .1, manually run state build, and the reason for doing that is that it will process that trailing exec file, create me a brand new MCDB file. So this is the MCDB file which is needed over on the secondary. So I'm back on the secondary now, and it says to copy over the complete var directory. That's copied over as cell HA1, but obviously we need to now rename that directory. Change it to cell HA2. Start the primary, and shortly afterwards start the secondary. So I'm back now on the primary. Go into the services applet. That's the cell there. Let's start that up. And we can just run the mgetinfo command. Full activity. Let's go to the secondary now, start the secondary up. I'm here on the secondary. Let's go into the services window. Start the cell up. Starting it on Windows, you get this pop-up message. It's perfectly okay. The reason being that because this cell is standby cell, it shows as paused. So that's perfectly normal. We can now check the status of the cells. Primary, full activity, secondary, standby activity. If the primary cell is on a slow running machine or the MCDB file is quite large, then you should give it some time before you then start the secondary up. The reason being that the primary, before it becomes fully active, has to read that MCDB file into memory. Let's now check the event count in these cells. Identical. So these cells are now totally in sync. This concludes the video. Thank you for watching.